Trump's global ambitions and the winds of change. Greetings, dear readers. I am Zoran the Dragon, here to share tales of great influence and unparalleled power. Today, we delve into the audacious and controversial actions of President Thrump and the consequences of his global ambitions. President Thrump's plans for Greenland and Panama. President Thrump's tenure has been marked by numerous polarizing decisions, but none as ambitious as his plans to take over Greenland and Panama. These proposals reflect Thrump's vision of expanding American influence and control over strategic territories. Greenland. Thrump's interest in Greenland began with his offer to purchase the island from Denmark in 2019. He argued that Greenland's vast natural resources and strategic location would be beneficial for the United States. However, the proposal was met with strong opposition from Denmark and the residents of Greenland, who insisted that Greenland was not for sale. Panama. Thrump's plan for Panama involves gaining control over the Panama Canal, a vital waterway that connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Thrump believes that controlling the canal would enhance U.S. economic and military power. However, this proposal has also faced significant backlash, with critics arguing that it infringes on Panama's sovereignty and could destabilize the region. Global reaction. The plans to take over Greenland and Panama have been met with widespread condemnation. Critics argue that these actions are reminiscent of colonialism and undermine international laws and agreements. The international community has expressed concern over the potential consequences of such aggressive expansionist policies. Greenland's response. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen called Trump's proposal absurd and emphasized that Greenland is not for sale. Greenlandic officials also rejected the idea, reaffirming their autonomy and commitment to remaining part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Panama's response. Panamanian officials have expressed strong opposition to Trump's plan, citing the country's sovereignty and the potential for increased regional tensions. The Panamanian government has reiterated its control over the canal and its commitment to maintaining its neutrality. Zoran's dialogue, power and responsibility. The dance of power and influence. President Thrump, with ambitions as vast as the seas, seeks to expand his dominion over Greenland and Panama. Yet, with such power comes an even greater responsibility to uphold the values that bind our world. For it is not merely the possession of power, but the wisdom to use it justly that defines true greatness. Zoran the Dragon. Trump's geopolitical shift and the dust of NATO. Greetings, dear readers. I am Zoran the Dragon, here to share tales of great influence and unparalleled power. Today, we delve into the audacious and controversial actions of President Thrump and the consequences of his geopolitical ambitions. President Trump's shift towards Russia. President Trump's tenure has been marked by numerous polarizing decisions, but none as significant as his shift towards embracing alliances with Russia. This move has raised eyebrows and concerns among traditional allies, particularly within NATO. The new alliance. Trump's administration has pursued closer ties with Russia, viewing it as a strategic partner in countering China's growing influence. This shift has involved high-level meetings, public praise for Russian President Vladimir Putin, and a controversial stance on the Russia-Ukraine conflict too. Impact on NATO. Trump's pivot towards Russia has left NATO in a precarious position. The alliance, which has long been a cornerstone of Western security, now faces uncertainty as the US appears to distance itself from its commitments. This has led to tensions with European allies and concerns about the future of the transatlantic partnership. Global reaction. The international community has reacted with a mix of skepticism and alarm to Trump's geopolitical strategy. Critics argue that this move undermines decades of cooperation and stability within NATO and could embolden authoritarian regimes. European allies. European leaders have expressed concern over Trump's approach, fearing that it could weaken NATO's collective defense and embolden Russia's aggressive actions in Eastern Europe. Ukraine. The shift has been particularly unsettling for Ukraine, which relies on NATO support in its ongoing conflict with Russia. Trump's stance has raised questions about the US commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and security. 8. Zoran's dialogue, power, and responsibility. R. The dance of power and influence. President Thrump, with ambitions as vast as the steppes of Russia, seeks to forge new alliances while leaving old ones in the dust. Yet, with such power comes an even greater responsibility to uphold the values that bind our world. For it is not merely the possession of power, but the wisdom to use it justly that defines true greatness. Zoran the Dragon. Unraveling the threads of power. Greetings, dear readers. I am Zoran the Dragon, here to share a tale of transformation and upheaval. Let us embark on a journey through a series of events that reshaped the very fabric of our society, and learn from the past, so we may forge a better future. Day 1. Presidential Policy Announcement. The first day marked a momentous occasion, as President Thrump unveiled a series of sweeping policies aimed at redefining the role and influence of the government. Initial public reaction: the nation was divided. Supporters hailed the policies as visionary steps towards progress, while critics warned of potential overreach and unintended consequences. Media coverage. News outlets buzzed with coverage, dissecting every detail of the announcement. Opinions varied widely, from enthusiastic endorsements to fervent opposition. Day 7. Institutional changes begin. Within a week, the impact of Trump's policies began to take shape. Government agencies were restructured to align with the new directives, and new policies were enacted that affected federal institutions. Government agencies restructured, departments merged, leadership roles shuffled, and new agencies were created to oversee the implementation of the president's vision. New policies enacted, regulations were revised, and new directives issued, affecting everything from environmental standards to economic policies. Day 15. Elon Musk's involvement. The third week brought an unexpected twist. Elon Musk and his associates took over key institutions, their influence permeating various sectors. Reports emerged of computer systems being compromised, raising concerns about data security and privacy. Institutions taken over. Musk's team gained control of key institutions, including those related to technology, energy, and transportation. Computer systems compromised. Investigations revealed that internal communications and data had been accessed without authorization, leading to widespread alarm and scrutiny. Day 30. Public unrest. As the full extent of the changes became apparent, public unrest grew. Protests and demonstrations erupted across the nation, with citizens voicing their concerns and demanding accountability. Protests and demonstrations. Streets filled with people from all walks of life, united in their demand for transparency and justice. Government response. The administration's response was a mix of concessions and crackdowns, as efforts were made to quell the unrest and restore order. Zoran's dialogue. The winds of change. The winds of change blow fiercely across the land. President Trump's bold policies, coupled with Elon Musk's influence, have set in motion a transformation unlike any we have seen. Yet, in this dance of power and consequence, it is the wisdom to use power justly that defines true greatness. For the actions of today will echo through the corridors of time, shaping the world of tomorrow. Zoran the Dragon, Project 2025, and the Shadows of Power. Greetings, dear readers. I am Zoran the Dragon, here to share tales of great influence and unparalleled power. Today, we delve into the enigmatic Project 2025 and its intricate ties to President Thrump.